everybody. Welcome to today's lesson. Let's go ahead and get started by looking at today's lesson objective. Okay, so today we will solve word problems involving time intervals within 1 hour by counting forwards and backwards using the number line and clock. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our first problem. So, Psyduck gets to class at 9:08 a.m. He has to write down homework assignments and complete morning work before math begins at 9:30 a.m. How many minutes does Psyduck have to complete his task before math begins? And he looks pretty stressed out, so let's go ahead and help out Psyduck. So, we have a number line over here, and we split our number line from 0 to 60 to represent all of our minutes. So we're going to go ahead and not even bother looking at the 9 o'clock, right? So 9 o'clock is going to start here at 0. So that's going to represent our minutes. So he gets to class at 9:08 a.m. So we have 9:05. And then we have 9:10. We know 9:08 is somewhere in between there. So I'm going to make a little tick mark. So 9:06, 9:07, 9:08, 9:09. So he is at 9:08, right? This is where he starts, is at 9:08 a.m. Now he has until 9:30, which is over at 30. He has until 9:30 to get to finish all of his homework and complete his morning work. So I'm actually going to go ahead and, so we have 9:08 over here, and we're going to go ahead and jump over to 9:30. So what I like to do is I'm going to take 9:08 and I'm going to go to 10. And that was plus 2. So we have to add 2 minutes to go to 9:10. And then I'm going to go use my increments. And I have 5, 10, 15, 20. So I added 5 minutes plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So with our skip counting, all of this equals 20. But we have 2 more minutes left. So if I take 20 minutes plus my 2 minutes, that's going to give us 22 minutes. So our question asks us, how many minutes does Psyduck have to complete his task? So I'm going to write this in a complete sentence. Psyduck has 22 minutes. Okay, all right. So now let's go on to our next problem. So our next problem is about Evie and Umbreon. I hope I'm saying that right. So Evie and Umbreon start their chores at 5 p.m. The clock shows what time Evie finishes. The number line shows what time Umbreon finishes. Who finishes first? And we actually switch this. So this is supposed to be Umbreon right here. We see Umbreon. And then this one shows Evie. Sorry, my mistake. But anyway, so let's go ahead and figure out who finishes first. So the clock shows that they start at 5 o'clock. Let's start with the number line. So Evie starts at 5. And then if we see how it goes, so 6 o'clock is going to represent our 60 minutes. So over here we have 5 minutes, then 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So if I look over here, Evie's kind of by 30, but we're not quite at 30. We're kind of just a little bit off of 30. And each of these tick marks, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, shows us 1 minute. So here is Evie's time. So Evie finishes at 5 o'clock in 31 minutes, so 5:31 p.m. That's when Evie finishes. So now let's look at our clock with Umbreon. So 5 o'clock is over here, right? And if we go ahead and add and go through our minute hand, that's what's going to show us how many minutes we have, right? So we're not quite at 6. So if we remember, our 12 is going to represent 0 o'clock. 1 is going to represent 5 minutes. 2 is going to represent 10 minutes. 3 is going to represent 15 minutes. 4 represents 20 minutes. 5 represents 25 minutes. 6 represents 30 minutes. 7 represents 35 minutes. 8 represents 40 minutes. 9 represents 45 minutes. 10 represents 50 minutes. And 11 represents 55 minutes, right? So let's go ahead and take a look over here. So we're in between 8 and 9. So we're not at 8:40, but we're not quite to 8:45. So if we take our arrow and go all the way over it, we're about here. So we're at 41, 42, 43. So we are at 43. So Umbreon finished at 5:43 with the chores. So who finishes first? Well, Evie finished first. Evie finished at 5:51. So I'm going to go ahead and write my sentence. Evie finished first. All right. Let's go over today's lesson objective. So today we solved word problems involving time intervals within 1 hour by counting backwards and forwards using the number line and clock. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. And I know that all of our Pokemon, Psyduck, Eevee, and Umbreon had a great time learning with you. I'll see you next time. Bye.